Hey, what's up, you guys? This is just a quick video. I'll be going over. I've had different people ask me what are my settings when I render my video. What do I use to record my videos? How do I get it looking so, looking clean? How do I get the video basically looking as good as possible when I convert it over to YouTube? I mean, understand you're gonna lose video quality when you output it to Sony Vegas, and then once you output that to YouTube, you're gonna lose video quality. In this video, I'll show you how to kind of keep that quality as close as to the original. Now, it might not be the best. Excuse me. It might not be the best settings, but this is kind of what works for me, and I guess it works since I've had people tell me, hey, your video looks great. How can I get it set up this way? So I'll get right into it. So what do I use? Shadow Play. I used to use my Elgato HD60, but I had a couple issues with the microphone audio and the gameplay audio. Everything worked fine, but when I would use my in-game audio, excuse me, my microphone audio, sometimes it just wouldn't work. I had to download a separate program. It was kind of a pain. And once I upgraded my video card, I kind of just stopped using it because Shadowplay does everything right out of the box. All the audio works perfect. My microphone, the in-game, if I'm using Skype, whatever. All right. So I want to apologize for the microphone audio that I'm using right now. The headset that I'm using is a PlayStation headset. It's just convenient. I can plug it into the computer. It's Bluetooth, it's wireless, it has a Bluetooth adapter, and it's just convenient. But the microphone audio, not good, garbage. All right. So let's get into the tutorial. It's going to be really four steps. The first one is, what am I using? Shadow Play. Here are my settings. Okay. You got your off-on switch. All right. Um, and you cannot edit these unless this is on. So we're going to have that on. Okay. Shadow and manual. Shadow time 12 minutes, just because this video might last that long. I'll try and make it quick. Quality, custom. Alright, and I'll show you how to set that in just a second. Alright, and audio, in-game and microphone. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set this. Now, what I've noticed is while I'm recording here, when I click this, since I'm changing the quality of the video, it's going to cut my video. Alright, so I'm going to show you uh, how to set this in a different clip. Okay, so here's the settings for the quality tab, which is the most important thing here for Shadow Play. Click on custom. This is going to drop down. You're going to have this set to in-game. Okay, you can change it between different resolution types, 1080p, 720p, obviously, or higher. I believe up to 4K. I leave it in-game just because it's going to recognize whatever resolution you're using. Leave that there. Frame rate, you can choose between 30 and 60. We want 60. Bit rate, most important thing here, we're going to slide this all the way up, 130. If you're going to post, HD quality video on YouTube and you want to try and keep that quality that you're getting in-game while you're playing, which, you're going to lose some quality by rendering it and posting it on YouTube, we're going to try and get as close as possible. We're going to have to max this out. Now, the video size is going to be a little bit bigger than what you would like, but when we render it, it's going to cut it down. All right, that's basically it. That's the settings for Shadow Play. I'll show you the next steps over in Sony Vegas. So here's a video I was working on earlier. Let's just start a new one. Okay, no. Alright, so, okay, perfect. So when you start a new video, alright, usually this is going to be 30 frames per second, but you can change that. So you just go here, change that, okay? the frame rate. Alright, 59.94, which is 60 frames per second. Alright, full resolution render quality, best. Okay, that's pretty much it. You guys can pause the video. These are my settings. This is just for the project. Okay, this is not your render settings. This is just what you're working on right here in the timeline, your window. Okay. All right. So let's do a new project. New. Do you want to save change? No. Okay. We're just gonna hit OK. All right. So we're gonna go project media. We're gonna open this file here. Do you want to set your project video settings to match this media? No. I just click no. We want the original, and then we can just mess around and make it whatever we want. Alright, so I was talking about there's 4 big things. There's obviously what software you're using. You want to use a good software. Shadowplay, Elgato, those are typically very good. As long as you get something that's 60 frames per second, over 100 megabytes a second, that's perfect. The second thing you want to do, which I've read on many forums and looked up in tutorial videos on YouTube, this is very important. You want to obviously pick the video, open it up. Alright, we're going to right click. This is before you edit the video, you do anything. Right click, go to switches, go to disable resample. Okay, just doing that might fix your quality issues. Okay, if you're getting a video that comes out pixelated, or it just doesn't, when there's a lot of movement in the video and it doesn't look right, that might be that. Okay, basically what that does is that if this video that you recorded using Shadowplay or whatever recording program you use, you recorded, let's say, 30 frames per second, and you're rendering to 60 frames per second, which you're saving the file as, it's going to blend the 30 frames per second with the 60 frames per second output, and it's just not going to look good. You want to disable that. Okay, but I don't really have to worry about that since I record in 60 frames. I render out in 60 frames. I don't know if that makes a difference for me, but I would do it anyways. Any video, anything you read out there, this is one of the biggest steps they tell you. Just always do it. I would just always do it. Okay. All right. That's the second important thing. The third most important thing is color. Look at that. Horrible. Disgusting. Doesn't look good at all. Okay. Look at this. This is supposed to be rust. This is supposed to be grass. That's dirt. Okay. I mean, it looks kind of grayish to me. Doesn't look much, there's not much life there. This is going to improve your video a lot. Okay. So what do I do? Real simple. Okay. Video effects, color corrector. Here's your default. Okay. So just all right. Okay. I thought that was going to change, but we're going to take this default, drag it, drop it here. This is your video timeline, and here's your audio timeline. This is video. Okay, so this is default. Not going to change anything. We're going to basically, here I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so you just click this, drag it up a little bit. You see how that changes? Okay, alright, we're going to drag it up just a little bit until you get a good color you like. Drag this way, the opposite direction. Okay, you see how that changes the colors a little bit? Alright, and here's the saturation. You can mess with this a little bit, increase it. Okay, you see how that changes? Now you get a much better green, better red, just better color overall. That's at 1.5. Anything above 1.5, it's too much, I think, in my opinion. But here's my standard settings. Okay, not too much. Okay, so 1.25, that's what I like to use. All right, and let's see what it looks like without it. I mean, you might have not noticed the difference. Watch. That's a big difference right there. Okay. All right. Color corrector secondary. Same thing. Drag it, drop. I didn't do much of a change here either. Okay. Actually, let's see if this changes at all. Standard. Nope. I didn't change anything there. Here's what I changed. This part right here. I dragged this up a little bit. See? 135, 0.023. Default 000. Back down. Standard. Up. That's what you want. Just a little bit, not too much. So that looks much better already. Okay? That's the third thing. That's your colors. The fourth, probably the most important thing, is what you're going to output your video, your render settings. Okay? So let's take a look at first the original video. Okay? We're going to look at the original video that we recorded, which is this one. We're going to right click. We're going to look at properties. Okay. Here's the size, 458 megabytes, which is pretty big for, I mean, this video is only a minute and 30 seconds, but don't worry, we're going to chop that down when we render it. Here's an important thing to look at. Data rate, 43,473. We want to try and here's the frame rate, 60 frames per second, but we want to try and stay close to this. Okay, anything above this, anything really above 30 or 40,000, I mean, it's really a waste in my opinion. You're just making a bigger video file. You're not going to lose quality at 40 or even 30,000. Okay. All right. So we're going to try and get to that in the render settings. So keep those numbers in mind. Here's the original video. All right. Let's try and keep those numbers in mind. All right. About half, 458 megabytes and these numbers. All right. Now we're going to go to render. This is my template already, but let's look at how it's going to look. Okay, main concept, go down, internet 10 HD 1080p, that's what I was using. All right, drag this thing here down, customize template. See, right there saying 29.97, 30 frames per second. We don't want that, we're going to change that. Customize. All right, see, there's no option to change that. Well, just type 60, that's it, done. Uncheck this. We don't want it to allow it to adjust the frame rate. Uncheck it. We want 60 frames per second. That's what we want. Okay. Here's the other important thing. Remember that number I told you? Remember 48,000, whatever it was. Okay. All right. We're gonna change that. We're gonna put this. You know, even if it's just under, that's fine. You're not gonna notice the difference at all. 40. What was it? Million. This is probably easier if I just do this. And 30. Okay. That's what you want. I mean, you're really not going to see a difference at all. And I'm pretty sure that's what my template's at. Okay, so let's see what my template is. Okay, there you go. So here's the settings for my render. You guys can pause the video, look it over. This is what it is. This is the output. Okay. The audio, I mean, I pretty much just leave it at that. I don't know if I changed that. I can't remember. I might have increased it a little bit, but that's that. And that's pretty much it, guys. You just go ahead, hit render. Your video's done, and I'll show you what the well, I already showed you what the final. No, I didn't show you what the final render was. Here it is. Properties. 126 megabytes. So we dropped it from 458 megabytes to 126. Big change there. And what's our data rate? 34,000 instead of, what was it, 48, and you're not going to notice much of a difference at all. I mean, barely any. You can increase the bit rate if you want in the render settings. Okay, you can increase it. You know, make it 50 and 40 if you want, but I mean, it's just going to make the video file bigger. Instead of 120, it might be 140 or whatever. But you're not really going to see a difference at all. Okay, that's it. Those are my settings. I'm not saying it's the best, but that's basically what works for me. You can mess around with it, change the colors up a little bit. That's kind of what I like. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, just go ahead and leave a comment in the video, the comment section of the video. Okay? All right, take care, guys.